Hey guys, welcome to my case. It's been ongoing for a while. We have a lot of stuff to cover, so I'm just gonna dive right in. My name's Timothy Mondin. Law enforcement and CPS came in and took our child from us. They broke so many laws, where to begin, so I'm just going to dive right in. Here is where I was told to meet with this Tina Bergerke. I was told to go to her to request my transcript, being that she was actually the one that recorded the session, only to find out that I was told that she actually wasn't the one who did, that I'm supposed to contact Jessica Bork about who actually did sub in for her. And she said, here's the email. And as you can see, she didn't give me the email of the reporter. She gave me her own email, which she was supposed to give me the email of the actual recorder. Here is the notary from the clerk who was supposed to file my paperwork, but she wouldn't. She refused my money and actually refused any attempt outside of printing copies of my papers. If I was to serve a subpoena without it being filed, I actually would be arrested. How funny is that? Here is Jasmine Betancourt, the woman who's actually prosecuting my case, who's actually manipulating the courts, and she's expecting me to plead to the charge and that there'd be some sort of an investigation at the end after they've already shown foul play and also have broke laws and rules, procedures in the courtroom, stomped all over my civil rights as if they don't exist. So here's where she's saying that she tried to call me for a pretrial. And then she has the audacity to text me and tell me in email that pretrial conferences are held in the DA's office off the record. You know how unlawful that is? It's supposed to be in front of a judge. And she knows that. She's a prosecuting attorney. She's tried several cases. So she already knows that. So as you can see, foul play is here. And then here's where she says I'm audacious and that she hasn't lied about anything, Mr. Mondin. But obviously she did, because there was no pretrial conference ever held in the DA's office off the record. She just broke my civil rights on that one and broke rules and procedures. That's basically Andrew R. Mallory right there, willful disobedience. I'll just let you guys know we're already in a Brady versus Maryland situation where the prosecuting attorney is not handing over exculpatory evidence, on top of which she's already showed her unlawful practice and misconduct in the courts, including the clerks actually helping her to keep me from being able to file any motions whatsoever, which is so illegal. John Quincy Adams founded our Constitution, which was the father of law, pretty much. In this, he wrote up articles because of the oppression of the British back in 1812. They ended up having to draw up their own constitution, create their own laws that would prevent things like this from happening again. But, as you can see, they don't care at all. Here's a correspondence from the deputy director from the Supreme Court of Wisconsin on my complaint in lawyer regulations was that my mail wasn't getting to me and is being sent back because I'm not technically at this address, although I am, and here's proof. Look at that. Oh, same address. These are tricks they use, people. You're gonna have to understand that You're going to have to go through a million hoops. That's their goal. A million hoops for you to do anything. And then when you figure it all out, then we'll stop you at the clerks. Because why? Because the clerks aren't going to file anything for you. They ain't going to take your money. They ain't going to do anything. And they're going to sit on their hands. Our child happens to be a mixed child who's actually African American descent. And they refuse to even acknowledge that. And the state is actually disproportionate in their takings of children. It happens to be more so of a color origin than it is actually a white origin. Let that sink in. Here I had to actually quote law with lawyer regulations because they just wouldn't do their job. Basically, I reported and had evidence galore on Rachel Cougar and on Jasmine Betancourt. OLR of Wisconsin actually just refused to investigate. They called them and they told them no, nothing's happening, and they just took them at their word. Now ask yourself, why would a court system go through all this trouble to stop somebody from being able to just file a single motion or even gather their transcript, look at the information, be able to be educated? The reason is because they have committed so many unlawful acts that they're actually liable for millions of dollars because of the actions they took during this case. And why would they do all these things? This is exactly where it started. Officer Detective Corey Brandel of the La Crosse County Sheriff's Department. He did not read me my rights, and he detained me, threw me in jail, which is false imprisonment, false arrest. He didn't even read me my Miranda warning. And they just expect me to, just plead guilty to something I didn't do when we told you the proof. Proof was Friday that we had to pick him up from an after-school program called the Boys and Girls Club here in La Crosse. Where he had actually gotten into a fight with a kid and got bruises on his body, and they refused to listen to us. They just took him out of the home anyway. And now we have the actual doctors lying on the stand, and I'm just waiting to see who else is going to lie for him. At this point, we have the state is backing him, lawyer regulations backing him. They have the lawyers, prosecutors, my own defense attorney tried to take a dive on my case. The judge wouldn't educate me on a waiver, and he just pushed it through. He wasn't supposed to do that either. There's so many unlawful acts committed in this one case that leads me to question whether justice or even the law actually exists. Only in the simple fact that everybody comes together in a courtroom does not make it a lawful proceeding. A lawful proceeding would be able to actually file subpoenas, be able to prove my side, and be able to have them prove their side. And that would be a lawful proceeding, but this isn't even close to a lawful proceeding. It's way off. So next time you go and you watch yourself a court proceeding, ask yourself a lot of questions. Something like, was the defendant able to actually get their transcript? Were they actually able to represent themselves lawfully? Were their civil rights actually, witnessed? Did they give them a fair trial? That doesn't exist. Here's what exists. Just plead guilty. We'll help you out with that charge. We'll make sure that you get yourself a fair bed at Club Med. Yeah, you'll be stuck there. That's where they want you to go. They don't want you to have any chance whatsoever at a fair trial. They block you at every point and don't allow you to even represent yourself as a pro se litigant because, since you exposed, an officer that, broke the law, since you exposed your defense attorney who took try to take a dive on your case, because you exposed the judge for not doing what a judge is supposed to do, because you exposed the prosecuting attorney for Brady versus Maryland. Seriously, that is so freaking illegal. It's insane. On top of which, then you expose the lawyer regulations for not doing anything that's required to do by law. I mean, how many infractions? I mean, did you realize that per civil right that is actually infracted upon, that is actually denied to you, they're liable for $1 million? At this point, I'm pretty close to $137 million. That's a lot of money that they compromised their whole freaking community for. And the worst part about it is that they're going to try to shut me up by denying me a fair trial. I mean, if that's not illegal, I don't know what is. Does the law even exist anymore? Or is it just whatever they say it is? I mean, if it's whatever they say it is, well, I mean, shoot, but they gotta, keep the public opinion up. They're worried about that. So they're gonna dig up all kinds of fabricated evidence. And then when you go into court, you're gonna see all the stuff that has no in law at all. And it's all gonna be fabricated. Pretty much it. We sat there, we told them what happened, we walked through it with them, and still they deny it every single time. And the freaking physician who examined him lied on the stand. That is illegal as hell. So, just in the future, if you ever have a day in court, just remember, you have rights. Make sure you look them up. Make sure you study them really well, because appellate cases state that all these things that these guys have committed are 100% illegal. But they did it anyway. Ask yourself, does the law exist? Are you sure? Next time with Tim Mondin.